Greetings. This video focuses on Chapter 7, Social Process Theories. So we'll go ahead and focus our attention on this section. And a lot of this has to do with socialization, the socialization process, how people are influenced by those that are important in their life and by organizations, by the media, by the educational system, obviously by the two important, really important groups, family, and peers, and how this relates to criminal activity. So let's go ahead and first address social learning theory. Social learning theory focuses on the that crime is learned basically just like non-criminal behavior. Criminal behavior is learned just as non-criminal behavior is. In other words, that people learn how to commit crimes from others. They learn about the attitudes and feelings and explanations for criminal behavior from close friends, relatives, family members, and others that they associate with. And for example, Sutherland's differential association theory looked at the whole idea, for example, that criminal behavior is learned, and learning occurs from social interaction in intimate groups. That includes the techniques of committing crimes as well as the perceptual aspects of the laws and the motivations and the drives to engage in that behavior. So in other words, differential associations may vary or differ in frequency, duration, priority, and intensity. And this would lead to criminal behavior just as non-criminal behavior, depending on who one associates with in that regard. We also can take a look at the whole idea of differential reinforcement theory, a part of social learning theory, basically that those who believe that they will obtain some reward for their criminal behavior by those that they have respect for are more likely to engage in that criminal behavior. For example, you may hear peers talking about how they committed some vandalism. Some adolescent peers talking about how they vandalized a car, vandalized a home among themselves, thinking that was cool, that was a neat thing. But you don't hear them telling their teachers about that, or maybe their parent about that. And that kind of gets you into this whole idea of differential associations and reinforcements. And within this model, we also have Matzen-Sykes neutralization theory. And this is really how people who engage in criminal activity explain away their crimes, in other words, justify their behavior. And several of these techniques include, for example, denying responsibility, basically saying that, that it wasn't their fault, denying injury, no one got hurt, denying the victim, the person had it coming to them, condemning the condemners, and appealing to higher loyalties. So we kind of see those ideas as well. Within this line of socialization processes, we also have social control theories that focus on the idea that people follow the law because of internal and external forces. And so really, I think a popular model that's often discussed in criminal justice is Travis Hirschi's social bond theory. And this is related to the links that primarily adolescents and then adults have in society. And his focus has been on attachment, commitment, involvement, and belief system. And so what we get there, for example, is looking at the attachments that adolescents have and the commitments they have to following pro-social legal behavior versus illegal behavior, and their involvement in pro-social activities versus antisocial activities, as well as their belief system. So we might take a closer look at looking at the specifics. For example, with attachment, we might look at their friends, we might look at their community members that they interact with. With commitment, we might look at whether they have future goals or not, or career aspirations. With the involvement, are they involved in sports or after-school activities or community or religious organizations or social clubs? And with belief system, do they believe in honesty and morality and fairness, for example? And so we can take a look look at these features as well. And then moving on with social reaction theory. And really this gets into symbolic interactionist models, which focus on how people communicate using symbols and interpretations and meaning systems. In other words, people make sense or construct their ideas of what is considered criminal or what is considered non-criminal. And the social reaction theory coming out of this model looks at the idea that we have to look at the audience response to people's behaviors, or in essence that people may be labeled as being deviant or criminal, and then they may take on that label and act out their role as a deviant or a criminal. And this takes into consideration that really crime and deviance is socially defined, that in essence people would say that if someone is labeled as a juvenile delinquent and they internalize that label, they may then act out on that label. It's expected from them, and that's how they view themselves, and they view others viewing themselves as such. So that's important, the whole interpretive aspects. So crime and deviance being defined by society and community members and their reactions to the behaviors. And the whole labeling process can create a social stigma, and primary deviance really is where there's a violation of norms that doesn't seem to have much consequences. But secondary deviance happens when the person is labeled. They apply a negative label, and then that person may take on that role and act out in deviant ways. And that kind of summarizes several of the models from the social process perspective. Thank you.